Welcome to Bigger Than You, the podcast to help you go from overwhelm, self-doubt and scarcity in your business to the calm, grounded and unshakably confident version of you that's going to bring your vision to life. You've got a mission and a purpose that's bigger than you and your limiting stories and beliefs. So let's get you out of your own way. I'm Jenna Holloway, your host and multi-award-winning intuitive hypnotherapist and mindset coach. Expect to hear game-changing perspective shifts on how to align your subconscious mind with your boldest goals, and will unlock the power of energetics, infusing it into every aspect of your life and business for maximum impact. Are you ready? Then let's dive in. Hello, thank you so much for joining me again. I'm really excited about this episode, partly because I have more headspace to actually do it properly compared to the last episode I put out. And actually, I want to comment on that, the last podcast episode, because I created that episode in a very fly by the seat of my pants energy, in the sense that my girls hadn't gone back to school yet, and I was kind of treading water in my business, really. If you've not come across me, or if you're kind of new to how I do things with my values at the heart of everything. And my values are building a business around my family. I've got two twins who are 5 next week, and they come first. So when the holidays hit, they come first always. So it meant that I did next to no work in the Christmas holidays, and that was fine. But I was still committed. Like I've always said, the one thing that I have as a, I have as a, like, there is no excuses. Like the one commitment, apart from obviously serving my clients, the one commitment I have in my business is the podcast, and that an episode goes out consistently every single week. So we did that. But like I say, it was a very fly by the seat of my pants energy. And I was actually coaching a client through the podcast episode. If you go back and listen, you'll hear it. But I remember commenting, it was about how to get unstuck and how to just move forward when you don't feel like you've got clarity, or you don't feel like you're in the right energy to start and build momentum. It's just about just starting, and talk lots about it. But essentially, I was answering one of my clients' questions via the podcast episode. And I think I said in there at some point, like, be aware of the story that you're telling yourself, because you might be telling yourself one thing, but to just trust that you're doing it right, and that voice is unhelpful in the moment. And that's so true, because I put that episode out in a completely fly by the seat of my pants energy, and I've had a lot of feedback back from it about how it was really, really helpful and it was great and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, just testament to that, the point that I made on that episode. Anyways, let's get started. I actually toyed with whether to actually reflect on 2023 in the first place, because I teach, like, one of the core things that I teach my clients and that I live by as well is the training. It's called Becoming a Match process. And this gives you crystal clarity around who you need to be in order to create the results that you want to create. And it helps you avoid sabotage, basically, because it's about radical self-awareness and course correcting in every single moment. So I live by that Becoming a Match framework. And so I questioned, like, do I even need to reflect on 2023 if I'm doing this, if I'm course correcting multiple times a day, every single day? Do I even need to reflect? And I did ask myself that question, and obviously I did end up reflecting, because that's what I'm about to share with you here. But the reason I'm saying this is because I want to make a point that you should always question things. Like, don't blindly do things because you feel you should, or because others are. Always ask yourself the question and be conscious with your decision making. So just because everybody else was reflecting on their 2023 and it seems like a good idea, I actually asked the question, do I need to do that? The answer was yes. So the reason why the answer was yes, and why kind of I personally feel like we should be reflecting on our 2023, is because we have an opportunity to zoom out. And of course we can do this at any time, right? We're not going to give our power away to the fact that the only time of the year you can do this is New Year's. Like, that's BS, but it does provide a nice kind of time marker to do it. So it's about zooming out and looking back and seeing the good things to carry and to take forwards into 2024, to review and reflect on what didn't go so well, and not just reflect, but take the learning from that, right? So that you continuously grow. But really, I think one thing that is undervalued in, like, when I've seen other people reflecting, is really, really celebrating where you are now. Maybe you didn't achieve all that you wanted to achieve, but we can look for the positives in that and reframe anything that before doing this we might have felt as quote unquote failure or be disappointed in. It's about giving ourselves the opportunity to reframe and look for the positives and the learning opportunities, so that we move into 2024 with a more empowered mindset and a better perspective that's going to serve us to create what we want to create with ease in 2024. And so I feel like there was something else I wanted to say then. No, it's gone. Hopefully it'll come back. So what I want you to do, if you're listening to this whilst out for a walk or whatever, just and letting it like kind of pass over you, absolutely wonderful. Celebrating you for going out for a walk and all the things. But how you're going to get the best from this podcast episode is by journaling, right? I'm giving you some journal prompts in this podcast episode, and there is 0 point in listening to this episode and not implementing it. Same with anything that I share on the podcast or anywhere. There's 0 point in learning if we're not going to implement, right? We just get stuck in learning mode, and that's basically a form of sabotage. Anyways, I digress. So pen and paper in hand. I first of all reflected on, question number 1 then, what 3 things are you proud of from 2023 and why? And you might want to choose 5 things, but just 3 is a nice number. What 3 things are you proud of from 2023 and why? The why is important. Actually write this. It's important that your brain sees you writing this. If you type or write this on your phone, totally fine. Everybody's different, but I like to kind of use pen and paper. I'm like instructing my hand to write the words and seeing those words, but I guess it's the same if you're typing it. Next one. How did I change and grow? Right? Grow being the operative word here. Because we're always looking to evolve. We're always looking to grow as a person. And I want you to really honor yourself as a person here. It's more holistic than doing it from a place of business owner, right? Yes, you can have massive goals. And yes, you can have huge ambitions for your business and everything. But ultimately, I want you to see it as you are in the driving seat as a person for your life. And it's you living your life. Okay, so how did I change and grow? Next one. My favorite moments were, just reflect back on your year. What were the highlights for you? And also ask yourself why. Because it might be that the thing that comes up for you when you ask yourself this question is something that is not like a shiny big deal. It might not be like a holiday or something. It might be something small like regular walks in the wood, because that's where you felt like truly at peace and grounded, or whatever that is, right? Reflect on why those come up as your favorite moments. And with these questions, I want you to take the pressure off. For example, take the pressure off finding an answer straight away. If nothing comes through as you are journaling, that's okay. Just by writing out the question, you're opening a loop in your subconscious and you are asking for that to come through. And if it doesn't come through straight away, that's fine. Just know that it will. Write the question out and leave a blank space. And you've basically opened up a tab in your mind, in your subconscious. And if it doesn't come through now, it will come through invariably when you're in the shower or cooking dinner or, whatever it is. So next question. If I had 2023 again, what would I do differently and why? Now, the really important thing about the energy I want you to have and the mindset I want you to have as you answer this question is very much from a place of non-judgment, total self-compassion. There is no room for a negative inner critic, right? If you want to create your goals and create the dream life that you see in your mind's eye, if you want that and you want that from a place of ease, then there is zero room for this inner critic in your mind. Okay, and that's an episode for another day. But you have to be your own cheerleader. And so make sure you've got the energy of your own cheerleader when you're looking back over 2023 and asking yourself, what would I do differently and why? And if you find it hard to get into that vibe, imagine you are writing out your question for me. Okay, and if I wouldn't accept the tone that you're if you're shaming yourself or being overly critical about something, if you know that I wouldn't accept that, then do not accept that for yourself. We have to be our own cheerleader here. Okay, so what would you do differently and why? And the reason we're asking this is to reflect on the things that you could have done better or differently. All right, it's a growth opportunity rather than an opportunity to bring yourself down or shame yourself in any way. Enough said. Next one. I felt happiest when. Okay. And I have intentionally left this quite vague because this might be, I felt happiest when I was with a certain person, or I felt happiest when I was doing something, or it was a certain time of day or a certain time of week. Ask yourself, when were you happiest? Right? Because this, when it comes down to it, when we are conscious about the way we're living our life and the way we are experiencing it from moment to moment, what matters most? Your happiness, right? Your ability to live in the moment and be present in the moment. Okay, nothing else matters because the only moment we have is now. All right, and I can hear in my mind the yeah, but, and it's not coming from me. I know that is coming from the person who's listening, who has got the yeah, but, that needs to hear what I'm about to say. The yeah, but might come up if you're like, yeah, but how am I going to achieve what I want to achieve if I don't work hard? And if I don't sacrifice a little bit of something, a little bit of fun in the now? That's okay that you think that because you have been conditioned to believe that from society, right? We are conditioned and programmed to believe on a subconscious level that you're only going to be successful if you work hard and sacrifice things. And it's total bullshit, right? There is a different way. There is a way that you can honor your life now. There is a way that you can create all the things that you want to create and have all the success that you want to have and still enjoy the here and now. This is anti-hustle, right? Not available for any type of hustle because that sacrifices my nervous system. That sacrifices my ability to be present and enjoy my life as fully as I could. That sacrifices my ability to be present with the people that I love and the things that I want to do with my life. You get to have a life that you love and achieve everything that you want to achieve, but it comes from switching that programming that success has to be hard to success can come with ease. All right. And don't get me wrong, I work really, really hard. but I don't hustle. There is a difference. I ask myself, I'm going off on a tangent here. This is another episode for another day, but just quickly, I ask myself, how can I let this be fun? All right. I'm not available for the energy of like treading through and forcing myself in my business. Sometimes like stuff doesn't feel fun, and in that moment I've adopted habits and ways that I now teach and mentor on. But I ask myself, how can I let this be fun? And when you train yourself, things come through, and I end up creating a podcast episode on something that came in for me to do, and here I am sharing it live now. This feels fun, and this is how you create your business and get to have success in a way that happens with ease and flow. So reflect on when you felt happiest during 2023 and take that as a sign, right? How can you bring more of that into your life? How can you bring more opportunity for fun, ease, and success without hustle? That's a little bonus question because that wasn't in my notes. Okay, next one. I want you to practice discernment as you're doing this journaling exercise, because there might be a question in here that doesn't resonate with you. Just trust yourself on that. If a question doesn't resonate with you, skip it. But I'd also say feel into what feels good for you as well, because it might be that something's not come through yet, in which case I would write it out and leave a blank space. It will either resonate and something will drop in later, or it won't resonate and you can end up skipping it. Totally fine. I trust that you will know what to do. Next one. My biggest lesson was, what was your biggest lesson in 2023? Next one. I haven't actually answered this for myself yet. It's one of the ones that I wrote down and nothing came in yet, but I'm sure it will. So it's the best advice I received in 2023 was, get curious actually, because it might be that the best advice you received was intuitive and it came in intuitively. So it might be from your higher self as opposed to something somebody said. Who knows? Okay. Then, so this is not just about reflecting from 2023, but this is also now moving into 2024. So going into 2024, I choose for more. What do you desire more of in your life? And how can you allow that in, right? The energy is with ease. So we're talking about allowing something in, being open for opportunities to fall into your lap, as opposed to, okay, I want more of this thing, so it's going to be an effort, right? Because whatever you're available for, you will get. So I choose for more. What do you want more of? And the thing about capacity is that you need to have capacity to hold something, right? So if energetically you are at capacity, there is no more space, then it's going to be very difficult for you to receive more of what you want. So you need to create space or expand your capacity. Again, it's another episode for another day. But if you need to create space in your life, if you feel like there's not necessarily space for what you want more of, then that is a sign for you to do that. That leads me on to my next question. Going into 2024, what are you no longer available for? And this, by the way, if you're listening on the podcast, I'm also live on Instagram at the same time. I just wanted to say thank you, Christy. Thank you for your lovely comment. So, yeah. What are you no longer available for? What are you letting go of? And I really want to say, sometimes this is an energetic thing, right? When you decide that you are no longer available for something, things can just shift, right? You don't necessarily have to do something other than decide. Okay? And that could be to do with boundaries. Could be to do with anything, but deciding is a very, very powerful technique. Okay, and then I've got I will do this by. Okay, so if you're choosing for more fun, for example, just to put an example here to help me explain this, how are you going to do that? Right? Can you make a plan now? Because unless we are specific with our subconscious, it will just be like, oh, that's nice, but it doesn't get the signal, it doesn't get the message that it's a priority, so it will not be a priority. So if you are deciding that you want more fun in your life, then how are you going to create that? Does that look like joining a new exercise class? Does that look like making a playlist that is high vibe? This is something that I have found I've needed to do because I'm somebody who loves music and always wants music on, but an energy leak for me, which I'm still working on because I want, like I'm aware it's on my list of things to do. I want to create a new playlist, but an energy leak for me was not having something to just plug in and play there and then. I've got playlists, but I haven't got the one that I want right now, so still on my to-do list. But yeah, if you've not got a space where you can just access something immediately, like a playlist for music, then that's an energy leak, and you'll find yourself not plugging into music when you absolutely love music because that takes effort. So how can you reduce the resistance or the friction to allow you to have what you want with ease, right? Very unique to everybody, depending on what's coming up for you, but hopefully that resonates some way. The idea that I really want you to be open to and for this year is that you can have whatever you want from a place of ease. It doesn't have to be hard. It's just about getting the mindset and the energetics right and the subconscious beliefs to support you with that. Okay? Be aware, like get conscious of what your patterns are, what your stories are that have created the reality that you have now. And know that your brain is neuroplastic. That means that it's changeable. Just because you've lived however many years thinking that success has to be hard and take hustle doesn't mean to say that it has to be that way forever. Absolutely not. You can rewire, right? Gets to be different. And the last thing I would love to say, no, I'm not going to skip that point because it's going to be really helpful, but I just need to speak a bit faster and stop going off on tangents. The other thing that I invite you to do is to choose a word for the year. And the reason why, like you might have seen people do this and not understand why, the reason why is to, when you choose a word for 2024, that word goes on the filter in your mind through which you live your life. It's called the reticular activating system. And let's say you choose the word abundance, and you choose to see that and look for that, and you want more of that in your life for 2024, then that helps. Having a word to anchor into in your personal life, in your business, just with your whole vibe, really, really helps because it's there. It's like an open tab in your mind to filter through your current reality. So my word for 2024 is abundance. And abundance is there in all sorts of forms. It's not just about money. It's about abundance for life, abundance for like the opportunity to be even more grateful. I consider myself a really grateful person anyway, but there's always room to expand my capacity to feel more grateful for things that are just a given in my life already. And I love to ask myself the question, what about my life now do I have that I would have cried happy tears over 5 years ago, even just a year ago or 10 years ago, whatever, there's always that opportunity to reflect and condition and train your brain to look for positives and good things, right? The brain is wired for negativity, and that's the way it is unless you train it and rewire it for the opposite. And that's part of creating success with ease, being more grateful for what you have now. Stop focusing your energy on problems or what you haven't got yet. Get grateful for what you've got now. Yeah, be more grateful for what you've got now, but get super grateful in advance for the things that you see in your mind's eye and live as if they have already materialized. Again, I'm going off on a tangent. That's a whole other episode in itself. about how to hold duality and move through whatever space and season you're at in your life. If it doesn't match what you're working towards, of course it doesn't match what you're working towards. You've got massive goals, and there's a way to move through with, like, positively reducing the resistance for the duality of that. Okay, let's move on quickly. I'm aware I've only got 6 minutes left. So I really want to say, take responsibility for your life. Everything that happens is a response to your own vibration. Okay, so when things happen for you that don't go as well, take responsibility for that. Do not have a victim mindset about it. That's not the way to grow and up level. You just take radical responsibility, and everything is feedback. Okay, so your external reality is mirroring your internal reality. Ask yourself questions and heal your triggers. And one of the ways that you can heal your triggers is through deep mindset work, deep mindset support, and subconscious and somatic work. This leads me on to sharing with you that I am launching a monthly membership called Grounded Wealthy Woman. This membership is for coaches and online service providers who want to create success with ease, flow, and inner peace, right? That's the vibe. This is for you if you have massive goals for your business and a vision for your life that makes your heart skip a beat. But at the same time, the thought of being part of hustle culture to create that reality makes you want to bath. So Grounded Wealthy Woman is a movement. What I see in my mind is a long-term, huge vision. Okay, and I am so excited for you. If you're listening to this and this sounds like something that you want to be a part of, I'm really excited for you, because you're going to be able to get in as a founding member. So I'm offering an incredible founding members price with limited spots available. And these spots are going to be released to a wait list first. So I highly recommend, if you want more community, if you want accountability, if you want deep mindset support and the subconscious reprogramming work that's going to get your limiting beliefs out of the way so that your subconscious is supporting you too, to create your success with ease, then get yourself on the wait list. Also, there's going to be bonuses for people who sign up from the wait list. So if you want a chance to be a founding member of Grounded Wealthy Woman at a tiny monthly price, then DM me the word waitlist on Instagram at I am Jenna Holloway. And just a few questions that I've had about the membership from members of my community already. I want to answer that here and now so you're not wondering. Grounded Wealthy Woman is the name of the membership, but it is open to men and women as well. I was toying with the ideas of the titles that were coming through, and Grounded Wealthy Person didn't quite have the same ring to it. So yes, there are already several men on the wait list. So if you are male and you are listening to this, please do not let the title put you off. What else have we been asked? Is this right for you if you are at the start of your business and not further ahead? Yes, it is absolutely right for you, because like having the space where there will be other people ahead of you on the journey is so, so valuable, right? Being that small fish in a big pond is such a gift. It's an opportunity for you to expand and stretch and progress faster, because you are surrounded by people who are ahead of you, right? I teach about having an abundant, empowered mindset. So that is absolutely a gift for you to be in that space if you are new in your business, or indeed if you want to start a business but you've held yourself back until this moment. Absolutely get yourself in the space. It would be brilliant. And what is the structure of the membership? The structure of the membership is each month we are going to have a monthly theme. And those themes are things like how to work on your boundaries, how to have more self-trust, how to get more visible, how to take action faster, all sorts of things that I hear my community struggle with. We are going to have a theme around each of this. And each month there will be a hypnosis track released on the theme, okay? And that hypnosis track will be yours to listen to rewire your own programming, your own subconscious limiting beliefs on that theme, so that you build momentum and you make progress, because you're getting those subconscious limiting beliefs out of the way. On top of that, there is going to be a monthly Q&A call on Zoom where we are all together and I am answering your questions around the topic of the month. And the hypnosis track and the Q&A call will be released on a private podcast, so you'll be able to listen as many times as you want to. So if that sounds like something that will support you and you desire to have a community around you to support you and to cheer you on and to not feel alone, basically. If you don't want to feel alone in your business, then come and join the Grounded Wealthy Woman membership. The way to do that, if you are listening to this quite soon after release date, is to DM me on Instagram, waitlist. And if you are listening weeks after, then just DM me membership on Instagram and I'll give you more information about how to join. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate every single download that each episode gets. And when I was doing my own reflection, the podcast is one of the things I'm really proud of. So please like and... Thank you for listening to the Bigger Than You podcast with your host, Jenna Holloway. If this episode has been valuable to you, please share it with a friend or leave a review.